Do you want to know how to use 3 different techniques that will elevate your sewing skills? Well, stick with me today and I'll show you how. Hi, I'm Aletha of Ribbons and Zippers. Welcome back to my channel where I indulge in the wonderful art of sewing to help you sewers create gorgeous garments for all the occasions that you want to cherish. So wherever you are on your sewing journey, I'm here to help you, and I want to share tips and techniques in my own years of experience with you today. So today I am going to show you 3 techniques that I use to elevate this gorgeous skirt. Now I have to tell you, no one but you will be able to see these techniques, but trust me, using them will help you to make a better garment. And that's what we all want to do, right? So let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about the inseam pockets. Many of us love inseam pockets in our dresses, skirts, and even pants, right? So, as sewers, when we construct our inseam pockets, we often use lining fabric or some type of silky fabric because we want our hands to slip right in and we want our pockets to move freely under our garments. That's the nice part, a nice silky pocket that feels good. This technique is not only going to make your inseam pocket feel good, but it's also going to make your pocket look good as well, just in case someone does accidentally sneak a peek. So we are going to create a pocket facing. It's very simple and easy to do, but it adds value to your garment. First, start by creating the pockets. For this illustration, I've cut both pockets out of lining fabric. Here I have the front pocket and the back pocket, meaning that one part of my pocket will be sewn to the front of my skirt and the other will be sewn to the back of my skirt. So when I refer to the front pocket or back pocket, you'll know what I mean. Okay, so on my back pocket, I'm going to start by measuring from the edge of the pocket, which attaches to the side seam. I'm going to measure over about 3 inches and measure down about 10 inches. Keep in mind that your measurement may be different from mine, okay? Next, with these measurements, I'm going to create 2 rectangles from my fashion fabric. I like to use tailor's chalk for this step. Once I have my pocket facing cut out, I need to attach them to my back pocket lining. With right sides to right side, place the facing to the back pocket a little less than 3 inches away from the side seam, about 1/8 of an inch. Now pin the facing in place and sew a nice straight seam. When you are finished, it should look like this. Now you need to go ahead over to the iron and press it nice and flat. Now before you attach it to the skirt, there are a few things that you should do. As you can see, I attached the bottom of the facing to the lining, and I also used my pinking shears to finish the raw edge. You can also baste your facing to the lining as well. Go ahead and baste along the side seam to keep it in place if you need to. Lastly, it is a very good idea to use lightweight interfacing along the side seam to reinforce the pocket openings. And this is how beautiful the facing will look. Okay, so before I move on, I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you can be reminded whenever I do another tutorial just for you. Now let's talk about the second technique, which is attaching the zipper guard. Have you ever gotten your blouse caught in your skirt or your pants zipper? That can be so disastrous, right? You can avoid that by applying this awesome technique. First, you need to measure the zipper that you're going to use. Most zippers for skirts and pants are about 7 to 9 inches, and that is the length that I'm using today. So I'm going to start by drawing up the pattern for the zipper guard on my pattern paper. Since my zipper is about 9 inches, I am going to make the length 10 inches. And I want the guard to be wide enough to cover my opening and have enough seam allowance. So I'm going to make it about 2.5 to 3 inches wide. It's always better to work with more fabric than not enough. So here is my pattern. As you can see, I rounded off the bottom and I wrote on it. It's a good idea to put notes on this handy little pattern. You can file it away and use it whenever you need it. The next step is to cut the pieces out. You're going to cut one piece from your fashion fabric and one piece from your lining. If you are using a lining that clearly has a right side and a wrong side, here is a really helpful tip that both pieces are cut on the correct side. Have both fabrics facing right side up. Lay the pattern piece on the right side of the fashion fabric and cut it out. Or you can trace it. It's your preference, it's up to you. Then flip your pattern piece over to the lining like this. Now go ahead and sew your seam. As you can see, I trimmed my seam and I also used my pinking shears around the curved edge to reduce any bulk. I'm going to press my zipper guard flat, but I want to show you what I do to make sure that my lining does not show. Use your finger to roll your lining back while you are pressing, like this. Just be careful of your fingers. Just keep rolling and pressing, and your zipper guard will look like this. You can't even see the lining. It's that beautiful. Before you attach your zipper guard, sew a basting stitch like this. Go ahead and pin the zipper guard to the zipper tape, making sure that the lining is facing you. Using a zipper foot, sew the lining to the tape. Okay, so here we have it. I removed the basting stitch and it looks awesome. It lays nice and flat. But we're not finished yet. We have to make sure that it's tucked away nice and neat. We do that with our lining. So since we have a zipper in our skirt, then we should have an opening in our lining for the zipper as well, right? Now I have to tell you, when I plan ahead, I know that I will be doing this technique. I never sew up the back of my seam on my lining. Here's why. Your zipper guard will always be longer than the opening, so you need to get the exact measurement. So here's how you do it. You match the top of the lining to the top of your skirt. You could put a pin there if you'd like. Then measure down to exactly where the zipper guard stops. Put a pin there as well. Now take your lining to your machine and sew a basting stitch from the top of the lining to the pin. Stop here and don't backstitch. Instead, pull your thread so that you'll have a tail and cut it. Now put your needle back in and sew with a regular stitch as usual. Reinforce your stitch by backstitching at the beginning and at the end. Now iron your seam open, and now you can easily remove your basting stitch. So now we have a perfect measurement, as you can see. The last thing to do is to attach the lining. Start with the right side and pin the edge of the lining to the edge of the zipper tape. Then, using your zipper foot, you can machine stitch this from the inside and it will look like this. But for the left side, I like to do a nice invisible hand stitch. And there you have it. Now the third technique is a seamed waistband with an edge finish. Keep in mind that there are so many types of waistbands that you can do. But for this technique, I am doing a straight waistband because normally when you have a gathered or pleated skirt, a straight waistband is the better option. You don't want to do a contoured waistband for this. For a seamed waistband, you need 2 strips of fabric. Now, my fabric definitely needs to be stabilized, so I have the option to use stay tape like this one or interfacing. I also have here a 2-sided satin ribbon for my edge finishing. That's my choice for this fabric because I feel it's not going to be thick or bulky. You can choose to use bias binding that comes in a package, or you can create your own bias tape. I've decided that I'm going to use interfacing, so I'm going to head over to the iron and get that done. As you can see, I only interfaced 1 strip, and that is the one that is going to be closest to my body. After sewing both strips together, it is a good practice to trim down the back seam allowance to reduce bulk. I like to use my pinking shears to do this. The next step is to iron the seam down towards the back. That's the strip with the interfacing. Then you are going to understitch. Whenever you have a facing, you always understitch. Look how beautiful it looks with the understitching. After understitching and you've pressed everything, take your bias binding or your ribbon and pin it to the bottom edge of the back strip. Make sure to pin it to the right side, not the interface side. Sew it with a very narrow seam. Now turn down the ribbon, then press. This is how beautiful it looks. As a reminder, the front of your waistband does not have any interfacing. Now attach the right side of the front of your waistband to the front of your skirt and sew your seam. It will look like this. It's very important to trim all of the skirt portions down as close to the seam as possible. Be sure not to trim the lining. Once all of this bulk from the skirt is all trimmed, the next step is to turn your waistband right side to right side and sew both corners. Make sure to trim your corners and push them out with a corner turner like this one. Do not use anything sharp for this because you will not be happy. Trust me. And after you've created your corners, give them a nice press. The next step is to stitch in the ditch. And that is to put your machine needle in the seam and sew. And that's going to secure the back waistband to the skirt. Make sure to fold the edge of your waistband under on a diagonal. That way you'll be able to catch it when you stitch in the ditch and it will look professional. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed these awesome techniques. They will certainly help you to level up your sewing skills and help you to make a better garment. Now, did you notice that this skirt has these perfect pleats? I'm going to show you just how you can make perfect pleats every time. I'll see you in the next video.